Well, hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to just give you some little tips that I have learned off of YouTube or things that I've just discovered on my own that I figure just work well. These are going to be tips on how to apply makeup and also tips on how to get it to last longer and also eyeshadows and stuff like that. So these are just things that I've learned. Doesn't mean that they're the only way to do it. These are just ways that I do it that seem to be easier for me, especially because I don't have a lot of time to do my makeup all the time, especially in the morning when I'm going to work, because I work really early and I don't want to get up super early to do my makeup, but I also want it to be easy and still look good at the same time. So with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing that I recommend is I bought this off of Amazon and it's called a Simple Switch and it looks like this. You could even make one at like the Dollar Tree. Just get a little jar or something and get this kind of, I don't know what this is called, but you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. So it's kind of like a rougher texture stuff, and I know it doesn't have any information on it. Let's see. Dry sponge removes color from makeup brushes. So basically just a sponge, just a coarser sponge. You could probably get it at Dollar Tree and just put it into a jar or to a cup or whatever, and you could use that. I think I got this for like $3 on Amazon, but they're usually like $6 to $10 in stores or whatever. But I mean like for $1. And what I like to do is if there's days that I want to use the same brush when I'm doing an application, or say I don't want to wash that brush that day, because I really only wash my brushes once a week. I know if I was to do makeup on other people, obviously I would wash them more, but because I'm not a makeup artist and it's just mine, it doesn't bother me. So these are really cool because if you have it, you can just take it and it takes the color right off the brush. So if I'm using like one brush and I want to do like all over color to set my primer, which I will explain later on in the video, then I will go back in with a darker color to put in my crease and kind of blend it out. I like the fluffier brushes because I have a wide range from my eyebrow to my lid. So I like to have the bigger brushes, and I will use that sometimes with a darker color. And if I don't want it to be on there, I'll like rub it off and do it. Or if I'm blending the top out and I have a dark color on here, I'll go and I'll take it off and then I'll do the lighter color and put it back up. So I mean, that's a great way if you don't want to have use multiple brushes, or you don't want to have to go wash it while you're trying to apply your makeup. You just want a quick application. Great way to get rid of the color. Also, if you're a YouTuber and you do swatch videos, this is also a fantastic way to go through and then do your swatches if you use brushes. Okay, so that one's down. So the other one that I learned this from Kimberly Clark here on Facebook, and I just Google her in the search bar, just Kimberly Clark. Fantastic. She does drag queen, and she's a drag queen and so much fun. So hilarious. She's one of the ones that started the Anti-Haul series, and I just think she's just a hoot. She makes me laugh so stinking hard. Okay, so anyways, this is the blender cleanser. I got this at Sephora. This stuff is $30 for this bottle, but it is 10 fluid ounces. I swear this thing will last me a year, because I mean, if you look at it, like, I have hardly even touched it, and I've had this since the Sephora 20% VIB sale, which was what, November or October or something? I don't remember, but I mean, it's ridiculous. And I wash my beauty blender at least every 2 days, every 3 days, depending on how often I'm using it. But anyways, the trick that she taught me is what you do is, so you need to wet your beauty blender. So if you see, this is how they'll come, and then this is when it's wet. See how it expands, but see this, how tight this one is, and then how much looser this one is. So I mean, you can see the difference. See, like, so you want it to be nice and soft. So a great tip to save time and also get it clean is to do it all in one step. So I take this and I'll put it in my hands and I'll suds it up really good, and then I take my beauty blender and I like rub it in so that way it's getting all over my beauty blender. I don't think that's the proper way to do it. It probably is. I don't know. That's just the way I do it because I don't care. So it's getting it clean and it's taking all my foundation off, and that's really all I care about. So that's how I do it, and I get it really good, and I make sure it gets all spots, and if there's spots missed, I'll put a little extra on there, or I'll put more on my hand and I'll rub it in and do it again. Then I put it under warm water and I just let it just soak, and I squeeze it the whole time, so it's really getting all the chemical out from the cleanser and also getting all the foundation off my brush. So I'm really just squeezing it the whole time, and then it obviously expands because it starts out like this and it'll expand, and then so it's just getting nice and clean. So I'm cleaning it and I'm also dampening it at the same time, and then I can go in and do my foundation and everything, and bam, done. One step. So great. All right, another thing that I have learned is from I believe it was from Tati who told me about the primer, and she's also here on YouTube. It's Tati. and she's fantastic. She's a beauty guru. She's so good at makeup. It's just crazy, but I love watching her tips. And it's eye primer. So if you want a primer, a face primer and an eye primer, which I'll get to that one next, but a face primer, if you want your foundation to stick and adhere to the skin, a face primer is wonderful to have. A lot of beauty gurus don't like them. They don't use it. And then there's ones who swear by it. So I think it's just kind of whatever your preference is. I prefer them. I think my foundation goes on much better because I have a lot of texture on my skin, and I also have really large pores. So when I don't have a primer, my foundation just seeks into my pores. When I do have a primer, it seems to go on flawlessly. So this one is the one I've been really enjoying lately. It's the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer, and it just goes on. It's got a little pump. This is just a deluxe sample I got, and I need to find the full size of this because I'm going to buy it. But this one isn't a silicone-y. It's really just feels like a lotion. Here, let me put it on my skin for you. I mean, it really just feels like a lotion. It has no silicone base to it like the Smashbox. I don't remember what that one, but the silicone primer, which used to be my favorite, but I don't like it anymore. It makes me feel like my face is greasier. Because I mean, if you can see, I'm pretty greasy this morning because I just put moisturizer on. I haven't really done anything because my skin's all crazy today, but I need to get ready and get out the door. But yeah, this one's just so silky smooth, and it just makes my skin so much smoother. Like this is so like just much more texture to it, and it's just like silk. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. All right, so there's that little tip. And then another tip to keep your eyeshadow on longer is an eyeshadow primer. This will help not only to keep your eyeshadow on longer, but it will also keep it from creasing. So if you see my eyes, I have very, very, very oily eyelids. So a primer definitely helps to keep it on longer. Because I do notice a difference when I do put a primer on and when I don't. So with that said, the primers that I really like to use is my MAC Paint Pot is probably my absolute favorite. It just looks like this. This is in the color Soft Ochre. This is the one that I use a lot. It tends to last much longer than my NYX one, but my NYX one was the first one I got because I didn't want to splurge. I think it's like 22 bucks and I didn't want to do it, but then I'm like, you know what, that's gonna last me like a year because you barely use any. You just put a little on your finger and put it on. Some people will use a brush. I just use my finger because it doesn't bother me. Like I said, I'm not a makeup artist. It's just my stuff, so it's just mine. It's not like other people are using it. Except for my sister, she'll come over and use my makeup, but I don't care because we're sisters, so it doesn't bother me. But this is the one that I was using before, and it is the NYX eyeshadow base, and it just looks like this, and then open it up, and it's just a brown color, just a neutral color. This one, I think gets my eyes oilier faster than the Paint Pot, but it does work, so I still tend to use it. And then this is the one that I use when I know I'm going to do a bright colored eyeshadow, so that way it stands out more. It's the white one by NYX, and it's just an eyeshadow base as well, but this really helps the color to like really stand out and pop more. Another great one is NYX. I love NYX products. They have fantastic products. Is the glitter primer. If you're going to use anything that's got any kind of loose glitter or a glitter to it and you're afraid of fallout or it not lasting all day, a glitter primer is fantastic to put on before you put on the eyeshadow. That's another way to keep your eyeshadow on. Okay, let me see what else we got. And then the next tip that I have is for my foundation. When I do my makeup, because I'm not really good at it, I worry about fallout, or there's some palettes that I just really like and I don't care because I'm like, if it's got fallout, I don't care. I will tend to do my eyes first. I learned that tip from Vintage or Tacky, Cora, and also just type in Vintage or Tacky, just how it sounds. She's phenomenal. I love her too. And she's the channel that I first started watching when I first started watching YouTube was hers, and then I found some other ones that I really like too. But I love her. I'm just a huge fan of her. I think she's just such a great human, and the tips that she gives, and she's so real and honest, and I just adore her. But anyways, a tip that I've learned from her is to do your face makeup, your base makeup on your face after you do your eyes. So what I do is I will do my eyeshadow, I do my eyebrows, and then excuse me, I am so sorry. I felt it coming on. But anyways, I will do my eye makeup first, but I don't do my bottom, and I don't do my eyeliner or my eyelashes, my mascara. So I will do all my eyeshadow and my eyebrows, and I won't do the bottom of my eye because I'm gonna put concealer and then I do my eyes. So if there's a little fallout, it's not a big deal because it's really so minimal. So that's a tip that I learned from her. She's fantastic. Check out her channel. Highly recommend it. Okay, so another tip that I've learned from Wayne Goss, just how it sounds, Wayne Goss, type him in the thing. He's just phenomenal. I mean, he has the coolest tips and tricks and things that I've learned, and I've been watching his videos a lot lately because I really want to try different techniques and see what's going to work best for me, because my skin's very textured and I just wanted to see if there's other ways out there of doing it. So one trick he taught me lately is foundation. And by the way, this e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation, recommended by Jessica Braun. Her name is Jessica, and then Braun is B-R-A-U-N. Fantastic. Highly recommend this. And it's $6. $6 at the drugstore. This stuff is just beautiful. And this is in the color sand. It's a glass bottle. Anyways, let's not get talked about that. That is in one of my videos. I will try to link it at the end of this video. If not, I'll put it in the description box for you about some of my favorite things. And oh, love this foundation. It's so good. Anyways, so what he says is to put the foundation. I put mine on a palette. You can put it on the back of your hand. I use this palette that I got in one of my lip kits that I had. I've been using this ever since because I don't want to put it on the back of my hand because I always forget to wipe it off. Then I go to work and I'm like, oh great, yeah, foundation on the back of your hand. So anyways, I do one pump. I always start out with one. And if I need to add more, I can always add more, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch of it. So I will do one pump, I push it into it, and then I put it on my face. And what he said, the little trick he said to do is to really press it in to the face. And that way it's actually being soaked into your skin and it's not sitting on top where it looks like, oh, look, you have all this foundation, and then it's gonna get all cakey and it's gonna flake in the middle of the day. Because I have a huge problem with mine flaking, like it doesn't sit into my skin and it ends up flaking. He says that it takes him 6 to 10 minutes just to do foundation on his clients because it's really about blending it into the face. So he says it should take you at least 2 to 3 minutes just for the blending of your foundation to really get it into the skin, so that way it looks like it's in your skin, not on your skin. So that's a tip. And he says to give it some good pressure too when you're pushing it in, just nice and tight or nice and gentle, but really at the same time giving it that pressure to get into the skin, because that's what you want. Is you want it to really, not like this little, just tap, 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 like we see a lot of beauty gurus do. And then like, they're like, oh, my foundation's flawless all day. It's like, how is it flawless? Because when I do that, mine don't look so flawless. But so just this little bit and then done, that's not gonna work. You really have to get it into the skin so it really soaks into the skin. So that's a trick that I learned from him, and I love, 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 love it. Been using it ever since. Okay, another cool trick that I've learned from a lot of beauty gurus, I think almost one of them do this. They do the concealer under the eyes to conceal the eyes and the bags and all this, and to set it with a setting powder. So this one is the loose setting powder by Laura Mercier. This one was like $40, I think, something like that. But I mean, again, this is gonna last you forever because you barely use any of it. I mean, and this thing is full, and I've been using this since the 20% off Sephora sale. And I mean, every day I use it when I do my makeup, and it's still like almost full. It's crazy. It's like this stuff never disappears. So that's another thing is I go in with my beauty blender, I tap it in like this on the curved side, and then I just pat it on here like this. I don't do baking because I'm too impatient and I don't have time to wait. And so I just pat it onto here, and then I let it set for a second, and then I go in with my big brush, I tap it into this side, and then I kind of set my whole face like so. Tap it in again, do a little tap where you can get the excess off so you don't have tons of fallout and stuff. That's a good trick with your eyeshadow if you worried about fallout, is tap off the excess and then it won't have so much fallout. But then I just do it all over my face like so, and then I'm done. And then I go and I brush it away from my concealer to make sure that all of it's off. Great trick. Keep your makeup lasting all day and your foundation won't move anywhere. All right, last little trick that I have for you that I have learned, or tip. I keep saying trick. I don't know why. Tip, trick, tip. I guess they're the same thing, right? So if you have dry skin or oily skin, I highly recommend this Urban Decay De-Slick Oil Control Setting Spray. This stuff works fantastic. This is my new favorite, and I don't have the oiliest of skin. I do have oily in my T-zone and stuff, but not on the sides. I have combo skin. Sometimes it's oily, other days it's dry. It's just ridiculous. It does whatever it wants. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this. My makeup stays all day. It doesn't budge. It is absolutely phenomenal. So this is something that if you have dry skin or oily skin, I highly recommend doing a spray and really get that to set in there. After you do your setting or your powdering, do a setting spray. and it will stay all day. If you have oily skin, dry skin, I would pass on doing this. When my skin's really dry, I don't set my whole face. I will just set my concealer. I don't set the rest of my face. I will only set it with a setting spray. This one is great for dry skin. It is the Hangover 3-in-1 by Too Faced. It's a replenishing primer and a setting spray. It smells so, yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell like the Urban Decay All Nighter, but I was like, well, it smelled funny in the bottle, but once I sprayed it, it smelled good. But this stuff works really, 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 really good when my skin is really dry. It gives me more of a dewy, like it feels like my face is more plump and more voluptuous than it does when I use my Urban Decay. And if you have oily skin or dry skin, I don't know why I keep saying oily skin, you can use the Urban Decay All Nighter. This works for both skin types. The only thing is this stuff stinks so bad. So I spray, and it does stink, but once it's on, it doesn't smell. It's just the first application. And it's funny because I have a friend of mine who had the old formula, and hers don't smell. It's just the new ones for some reason that really smell, but it works great. So if the smell, it dissipates, so I'm fine with that. As long as it works, I don't care. So those are pretty much the tips that I have learned off of YouTube and the channels that I learned them from. Obviously, there's so many more, but check out those channels if you're looking for really cool makeup tips. I highly recommend Wayne Goss. Tati's really good. I haven't really watched Nikki tutorials. I hear she's fantastic with doing makeup. I've learned tricks or tips from Jessica Braun is really good with drugstore makeup and what you want to find. There's just so many out there. I just highly recommend Kimberly Clark and Vintage or Tacky. They're just phenomenal channels and such down-to-earth people, and they're so honest and real, and that's what I love. Those are the types of channels that I want to watch. I don't want to support the people who, just come and make things up. I want to really support the ones who know what they're talking about, and those are the people that I can learn from and pass it on to other people as well, because that's what we're here for, is we're all here to learn from one another, and I just want mine to be a channel where we do learn. We teach each other new things, and we show each other new things, and that's how we learn in this beauty community, and we learn how to do makeup and, feel our best and stuff. So I hope these tips and can kind of help you out and just be something that maybe I can pass on to you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends if maybe they could use these tips as well. And I will see you in my next video. I love you all so very much, and I will see you later. Goodbye.